I didn't start with Northern Lights photography because I wanted to take portraits under the Northern Lights. I didn't even think I would like Northern Lights photography. But it started as one question that completely changed my photography and my life as a photographer. Okay, so when I started out with photography, I started out with children's photography, especially families. And while I can do it in winter, and I do, where I live in the north of Sweden, close to the Arctic Circle, the circumstances aren't just challenging. We have a lot of hours of the day which are really, really dark. Especially in the middle of the winter, around Christmas, we only have a couple of hours of daylight. And it's not even daylight, it's like twilight. Since I'm shooting my portraits with natural light and out in nature. And out of the 24 hours in a day, we had about 20 hours of darkness. I asked myself this one question. I have time, I have darkness, I have a camera, what can I do with it? So what can I do with what I already have? What I didn't know at the time is that it would completely change photography for me. To go from being a 100% portrait photographer to start out with night photography, that was a real challenge for me. The way I was taking pictures of children and families and maternity shots, it was just a completely different way of using a camera. So I had to relearn my camera and I had to make all the mistakes that you can possibly do. But the first winter I ended up with over 30,000 pictures of the Northern Lights. But it was so much fun. And then when I started to get a hang of Northern Lights photography, I don't see myself as a landscape photographer, even though landscapes, that's kind of the ingredient that I love the most about the portraits. So I wouldn't necessarily want to do studio portraits because the nature is so important for me in the pictures. But at the same time, if you take the person away, I kind of feel like something is missing. And this is how I felt about my Northern Lights pictures. So I took lots of beautiful pictures of the Northern Lights and the dancing skies, but I felt like something was missing. So I started to just walk into the pictures, and although it gave me more of a human element in the picture, which I like, it still felt off. I was really asking myself, like, why? What's wrong? And I realized it was the clothes. So I was walking into these pictures with a down jacket and, you know, all my winter clothes, and they looked really modern. And that made my pictures feel like, it felt like modern traveling pictures. There is nothing wrong with traveling pictures, but it just wasn't my style because I tend to gravitate towards the timeless and a bit dreamy. And the thing is, when I started, I didn't really have a style and I didn't know what I was going for. I just knew that a modern down jacket just didn't do it for me. So then I started to experiment with different clothes. And I was also using myself as a model because, one, it was really peaceful to go out in the middle of the darkness. Even though I'm slightly scared of the dark, it can be really peaceful to just be out there and taking beautiful pictures all by yourself. It's really quiet and you have this absolutely incredible dance going on across the sky. It's just a really beautiful experience. Although it's so much easier to take these pictures of someone else, it's very difficult to plan for the Northern Lights. It's not just about the sun eruptions. Like maybe the sun eruption isn't even facing the earth, and then when it is facing the earth, maybe it's something, the magnetic field, it could be cloudy, or it could be, you know, something else. There are so many factors that need to be aligned in order for you to be able to even see the non-lights. It's absolutely impossible to call up a friend and say, hey, what about Thursday next week? To ask someone to get ready and go out, and then there's nothing. I mean, you can even go out during the right night, but you just miss it with an hour or two and you will see absolutely nothing. So that's why I was using myself as a model. It was just less hustle and it was more peaceful, and I didn't have to drag someone and then we wouldn't get anything for it. And I don't know, maybe I would have found my voice and my way of taking pictures even if I didn't start with night photography. But a part of me genuinely believes that the non-lights photography and the creative freedom it gave me when it wasn't part of my normal photography repertoire was a massive catalyst for, you know, getting into this fairy tale kind of enchanted and dreamy photography style. Because when you are shooting for others, you very rarely get to explore yourself on a deeper level, or at least that's how I feel. Even if I were doing projects for myself but still remain within my niche, I just don't get the same level of creative exploration of myself from fine-tuning my skills within my niche versus learning something completely new where I have no previous knowledge, where I have no expectations or preconceived ideas of what I like and what I don't like. So by completely moving outside of the space where I was normally shooting, it just forced me to search within myself on a completely new level. So I am pretty confident that I might not have found the style that I love so much today, and I may not have started to use myself as a model, meaning I would have missed out on so many opportunities while traveling, while perfect conditions, perfect sunsets, foggy mornings, etc., etc. In other words, I would have missed out on so many good shots that in turn have given me a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs. And also every picture you take is a really good opportunity to develop your editing style and to analyze what you like, what works for you and what you don't like, so you can take an even better shot next time and bring something unique and something that's very much your own into an area instead of kind of doing your own thing of what everyone else is doing. At least that's true for me. It's better for me to find inspiration and search my own creativity outside of the scope which I am shooting for clients. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I had no idea that I wanted to do night photography. I didn't know that I would like it, and I ended up loving it. And I didn't know I needed it, but just the fact that I started with Northern Lights photography, I discovered something very important about my own photography and my own creativity by leaning in and just asking the question, what can I do with this? If you thought this video was helpful or inspired you in any way, please let me know, and also tell me a little bit about your experience. Is this something you can resonate with, or do you have a completely different experience? If you have any friends who you think might benefit from hearing this, who might need to hear this today, please share it with them and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. See you next time!